What's up, guys? Zaid here, and today I've got a Brave LunaLight deck profile for you that is also using the Magician Soul engine and the DPE Scythe combo. This list was actually something I just worked up because shout out to this dude that messaged me, Maja Pro One. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. Hope you're watching. He messaged me when I was just spectating duels and asked if I had tested Magician Souls. And I was like, I've heard a little bit about it. I haven't really tested it. And I was like, you send me the list. And he sent me his list. His list was a Tri Brigade version of the deck. LunaLight Tri Brigade with Magician Souls. And I felt like I do love the Tri Brigade cards. And LunaLight Tri Brigade, has been a deck I've been playing on here a lot. But when it comes to Magician Souls, I don't think that if you're going to include a third engine, that Tri Brigade should be the second engine because LunaLight and Tri Brigade synergize very well. LunaLight and Magician Souls synergize very well, but Tri Brigade and Magician Souls do not synergize very well. And so I wanted the third engine to also help with the second engine. So if you open any two of the engines, you should be lit. And that's why I went with Brave Token. Because if you just open Brave Token cards and Magician Souls cards, then you're lit. Same with if you open Lunas and Magician Souls, or if you open Lunas and Brave. And so I'll explain the synergy with each engine as we get to them. And let's just get right into it. For the Brave engine, very basic. The 10 cards that every Brave engine plays. Well, the 9 and then the Foolish. I think most everyone should play Foolish because it's a fourth copy of Enchantress. But it also, in any deck that has any other card in the deck that's good in Graveyard, it will synergize in that way. So if you open Foolish with the Magician Souls, you could, instead of Foolishing for Enchantress, you could send like Yellow Martin, search the trap, and then summon Souls, pitch the trap, and now your whole LunaLight engine's going. If you open it when you don't have access to the Water Enchantress, you just get Enchantress. If you open it with Tiger, you can send Chick. And so that's kind of how it fills a lot of slots, but it's also a fourth copy of Enchantress. And then for the LunaLight engine, the one Tiger, because it's at 1, 3 Chick, 3 Perfume, 3 Goods, 1 Serenade Dance, and 2 Yellow Martin. And then the Foolish Burial and the Zephyros. I think that there in a list like this is honestly a case to play a second Serenade Dance. Because you're playing so many cards that synergize very well with it. Because you open any of these 7 ways, 8 technically, because you could do it with Faithful also. Any of these 8 ways to access Fateful Adventure allow you to discard a card. So if you open just Faithful Adventure Serenade Dance, you can use Faithful to search the, search Water Enchantress, pitch Serenade Dance, and then activate Serenade Dance to special by discarding the Water Enchantress. And now you're going to also get Enchantress to get right to get another card. And you're just getting your engine started with just like 2 dead cards, quote unquote. You're drawing that's just off drawing the brick and the brick. And so there's an argument to play more of this. Plus, it's an insane pitch off Souls. And it's nice to have a second one, so if you draw one, you could still search one off Yellow Martin. But I didn't really want to add it because it technically doesn't do anything on its own. So this is still a rough draft to this list, though, so we could test multiple. Let me know what you think about that. And then I'm not playing the big Blackwing package where you play like 2 or 3 Garnets for it because I just don't think the Garnets are worth it. We're playing this engine and we're playing the DPE. I think that what those Garnets add to the deck is much more substantial than what adding like the Raiders Wing, the Tribute Lanius, whichever one of those 2 you choose, and then adding the rank up spell that lets you get Infinity. Those let you do a lot off of 2 cards, but this deck already is a deck that if you have your 2 cards and it goes uninterrupted, you're winning. So what these do, the Brave engine and the Souls engine allow you to, and the DPE engine, they let you have things to do if you get interrupted. They let you put up things to stop the interruptions. And like the Souls also just, and this help with consistency a lot. So I didn't really think you needed to maximize what you do with 2 cards, but what you do through hand traps and what you do like as follow-up through hand traps. And then we got the Tanky. I think I said Tanky already, but this card becomes extra insane with Souls because you get a search and then you get to send the Tanky and it's just a plus. And then the Souls. And so how this engine works, like all of these 3 engines, how they work in tandem with one another is if you open the Brave engine and you open the Souls engine, then the Brave engine gives you 2 discards because you're going to have the Faithful Adventure and the Dracoback, the Rideable Dragon, both on your field. And those are 2 free sends with Souls. If they Imperm, Veil, or Ash here, you literally don't care because it was free. And you could still Dag to Scythe them if they were to interrupt you there. And also, I'm playing 3 Souls, 2 Illusion. I didn't want to go any deeper on this engine just because the deck was already pretty close to full. Like, I'm at 41 right now, and any extra Souls cards I add would just increase the size of the deck and prevent me from drawing into cards like Enchantress as much. But there also could be a case for it, because the Illusion of Chaos, if you play 3 of this and then you were to play like Preparation of Rites or something, Prep is cool because you can discard it off Souls, but Illusion of Chaos is sick because you can reveal it, put back one of the Garnets, and keep it in hand as follow up, and then also put your Garnet back in deck that you were going to use later anyways. Like, if I'm putting Celestial back and keeping the Illusion, maybe I'll need the Illusion later on in a combo to discard off Perfume or something, and I couldn't have used that Celestial, because if I do, it turns DPE off. So this card has like 6 synergy with the Garnets by putting them back. Like I said, this engine synergizes with Brave by sending those 2 cards, and it also synergizes with LunaLight by sending Perfume, sending the Serenade Dance, sending additional copies of goods. And then, in case you were wondering how the Brave engine synergizes with Chick Tiger combo, if you have access to Chick Tiger already, then the Adventurer is just going to discard the Kaleido Chick. That way you could special it off Tiger and you don't need your normal for it, because of the Rite of Amashir locking you out of using your normal. But if you open any of the spell traps with the Brave engine, you're also going to get to pitch that and get the engine started. So all 3 of these engines synergize with one another, and that's what I like about this list. And then we got the 2 Fusion Destiny, Dasher, Celestial. These are just like insane cards. They give you so much follow-up, and the fact that if your opponent hand traps you, you could just like make a DPE and still win that game is kind of crazy. And then we got Triple Droplet, Triple Tactic, and then the Scythe. And the Droplet Triple Tack you'll recognize from my multiple LunaLight deck profiles on the LunaLight Tri-Brigade deck. I think in a deck like this, these cards are insane because you have roughly 40% chance to draw the Droplet going second, and if you were to put in hand traps instead, I think Pac was talking about this, or Pac, however you pronounce his name. I was watching his top 8 YCS deck profile with DDD, and he said in order to have a 75% chance, or I think if you play 12 hand traps in 42, he said you have a 50% chance to draw 2 going second, and I don't want to play 12 hand traps. I don't have the slots to dedicate to that in a deck like this, and so I'm probably not going to be drawing 2 hand traps. And so I feel like it's best to just play the cards that if you do draw are going to be the highest impact and be able to get you there on their own. Tactic isn't as strong clearly as Droplet. If I technically was going only as going second logic, this would probably be Dark Ruler no more. But the reason that I like this is because it has very good utility going second, but it's so strong going first as well. Like, this type of deck building, I think, solidifies that if we go first, we're winning game 1, and that even if we go second, going first game 2, we're gonna win, and then we let our side deck carry for game 3. But if we go second, like game 1, we're not guaranteed to lose because we have like almost 40% chance to draw the Droplet. I need to get on a calculator and actually check the math on what my odds are of opening Droplet, because I think that number is just coming from something I recollect hearing someone else say, but I'll double check for sure. Also, guys, I have a replay to show you after I finish the deck profile. I should have said that at the beginning to keep people to stick around, but if you made it this long, I'm also going to show a replay showcasing the deck. And the Scythe, of course, is for the auto win. The extra deck, I've got Dagda, the Anaconda DPE. This is just like your win the game combo, but you also are putting it up with like an Omni Negate and some other stuff. You've got Forstrix to search the Zephyros. We've got Tiger King to grab Tanky. These 5 are no stranger to my decks. Like, I feel like people might get bored of seeing stuff like DPE Scythe, but when you're playing a rogue deck, and I think this deck would still count as rogue, the LunaLight stuff, and the cards are very strong, but they're generic like this deck, where I can make any generic links or rank 4s. You kind of want to look at the meta and be like, what are the best cards that people are using, and how can I use them in this deck? Because if you're just going to be like, I don't want to be a meta sheep, I don't want to play Scythe Lancia, then a lot of the like fun rogue decks you can't utilize well because you don't want to play good cards in them. Just because cards see a lot of play doesn't mean you should shy from playing them also. Like, find a cool, unique way to do it. Like, yeah, you might feel like, oh, I just Scythe locked them, but you did it in an awesome deck, and you did it with a bunch of follow-up and setup, and like, I think that the cards are crazy, and I'm going to play them till they're gone. And there's also, like I said, Tiger King, Forstrix. Gaga Magician is really cool. I like this card a lot, and I haven't had this in a list in a little bit, but in this one I feel like it fits pretty well. You use Gaga Magician to revive either the Force Strix or Tiger King, whichever one you use before linking into your Dagda, and then you use it to reborn that XYZ, overlay, and make the F-Zero package. So one rank 4 turns into Utopic Draco Future, and my logic with this, I do play Appaloosa in this deck, but most of the time you kind of have to choose, do you want Draco Future or do you want Appaloosa? And Appaloosa takes more resources, but puts you with a technically better board, but it loses to droplets the exact same. Whereas making this, you're using less resources, so if they do droplets you still put less into this, which means you put more cards on board like other interruptions, and so they're gonna have to pitch even more to hit you with the droplet. And it's just like very strong. Like one monster negate it's not just one monster negate. It also takes the monster. So if you make it with something like IP, that's free link fodder to then go into Appaloosa on the follow. We also play Tornado Dragon, Dweller. These cards, again, not strangers to my deck lists. In my Luna Try, I play Tornado, but I don't have room for Dweller, and I'm very happy to get to play Dweller again. Because if you're ending on a board like Utopic Draco, Dweller, the DPE Scythe, and you're ending on a Griffin also, they have to droplet for 4 cards to play the game, and even if they do, like they have 1 card, they better be a good fucking card, and they better kill you, because you've got follow-up out the ass with the DPE engine. And then, like I said, IP, we also have the Unicorn for it, and then the Appaloosa. And then these are the 2 spots that I think for sure can change. Like, I am not sold on these cards at all. I honestly think they'd probably be better off as access code talker and something else. Maybe keep the Zeus, but like replace Dugaris for an access code. Just because like this card, my theory on it is that it also kind of bridges the archetypes. Because if you don't open with souls, you can draw 2 to try to get into souls, and then you can pitch like the Water Enchantress. You could pitch the Perfume, stuff like that. I feel like this will fix awkward hands. It hasn't came up much yet, and also game 2 it'll get you into side. But I do think the card's worth mentioning. But if you were to cut this, I'd probably put an access code to just like confirm kills. And then quickly over the side deck, I've got 3 Nib, 3 Token, 3 Droll, 3 Lancia, 3 Judgment. The theory here is going first, you take out 3 Droplet, you put in 3 Judgment. If you're against a deck that isn't hurt by Scythe, you would also take out 1 Scythe and put in 1 Lancia if the deck is hurt by them. And if it's not hurt by Scythe or Lancia, you just take out 2 Droplet in the Scythe to put in triple Judgment. And then going second, most combo decks, you're going to be able to put in 2 of these hand traps against, maybe 3. If you can put in 2 against them, say you're playing against Fluanderies and we're going second, we're going to put in triple Droll, triple Lancia, and we're going to take out the 5 Magician Souls cards, and we're going to take out the Scythe. You're always taking Scythe out going second because you're not going to Scythe them. Like, I'm in the Fluanderies example, you're not going to Scythe them anyways because they're not a deck that gets hit by that. But you're going second and against any deck, and you're probably trying to kill them now. And it's not likely you're going to DP Scythe them going second, and you don't want to draw this card. And say you're against like Phantom Knight, you would probably put in Lancia and Nib and take out the same stuff. And you could occasionally, if it's a deck that is playing the Scythe Lock like PK, you might want to take out Triple Tactic too, because it isn't going to help you too much. So maybe we're putting in Nib, Droll, Lancia, and taking out 9. Or taking out just like part of this package. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe we'd keep 2 souls, 1 illusion, and then just take out so we would take out 1 of each of those, we'd take out Scythe, and then we could take out the 3 triple tack, and then put in our 6 going second cards, because if they're scything you, you don't want triple tack in your deck really. So that's kind of how you're gonna side with this deck also, is those are the specific cards you're taking out, because you don't want to hinder your engines. Like, why play these engines if you're going to hinder them? But the Soul's the most flexible of the engines, and that's why we're going to take it out going second. And not the most flexible, the least flexible and least impactful. And also, going second into interruptions, Souls is like very, very bad, because if you're going first, they could just like Imperm, Veil, or Ash it, and you're going to bait those and keep going. But if they established a board and say they Appaloosa negate it, or they still Imperm it, or Veiler it, or Ash it, or they Droplets it, like, the list of cards that can interact with that gets bigger, and it's like pretty impactful to lose 2 cards. Like, sometimes you're going to pitch 2 and you're going to be happy they interrupted because it's like now an interruption's done and I set up. But other times you're not going to be as happy. And so I feel like this is the best stuff to take out. And so with all that being said, I'm going to get into a replay with this deck. I played against this dude, CC Gloranzoroma, however you pronounce that. He is 764 rating, and I'm like 586 at this point. I'm not high rated, but I'm getting kind of close-ish. I think high rated right now is like 800. I won the rock, paper, scissors, and we take those. And he was playing Fluonderies. He opened Eaglin, Terra, Prosperity, Town, and Avion. I opened Talents, Water Enchantress, Goods, Perfume, Illusion of Chaos. My hand's literally an FTK. Like, this hand is God tier. I'm going to go Goods. I'm going to dump the Trap. And real quick, I'll even go into why I decided to lead this way. People aren't typically maining Lancia, and if he was, it might have been best to just like Lancia in the standby against my deck. But if you Foolish Goods send the Trap, once they let that go through, you're playing around Lancia. Because at any point, if he were to Lancia now, I could just chain dance. And also, I didn't lead with like Illusion of Chaos into Souls, summon Souls, pitch like Perfume and something, because right here, my Serenade Dance discard is free because I send Perfume. My Perfume discard is free because I send Enchantress. I then use Enchantress, get that engine going, and now both my Brave and LunaLight engines will be completely established. And then I can use Illusion of Chaos to send the 2 dead cards off of the Brave engine, send the Adventure and the Equip spell. And if I were to have shotgunned this, I would have sent Serenade and Perfume. Or not even Serenade, Perfume. I would have sent Perfume, and that's all I could really send here. I wouldn't have a second send for free. I could send the Goods, but then I lose out on the Dance. I could send Tactic, but then if he has a hand trap, I get punished. And then if throughout this line he hand traps me at all, I also still have the Souls as an extender. So I use Dance, pitch Perfume, summon Chick effect, dump Yellow Martin, Perfume, pitch Water, search, activate Water here, I believe. Yeah, Water is going to grab me the right. I'm going to activate the right, get the token, get the Adventure, reveal Illusion of Chaos, and here I'm going to grab Souls. The reason I'm doing this first is so I don't have to discard a real card. I'm going to put back and I'm going to summon the Souls. Also, real quick, one thing to note with this card, a lot of people on DB will reveal Illusion of Chaos, right? They'll search their Souls, they'll put Illusion to the top of their deck, but then when they activate Souls, they'll just mill one because they know it's the top card, and then they'll shuffle to save time. But realistically, you want to pick up your deck, you want to go through it, and then you want to send an Illusion so that your opponent doesn't know that you put Illusion back. Like, you would rather them think you have it for follow-up than think you don't. And also, like, if they have the read that you kept it, then that's one less card they're considering to be a hand trap, when in reality, like, it could be a hand trap, it could be an extender. They don't know, but if you show them that you milled the Illusion, or you put the Illusion back, that's just information they shouldn't have. And I want them to have the least amount of information as possible. But here, I'll summon the Souls, and he actually just scoops because I was going to get the full combo. It kind of sucks he scooped because I don't get to then show you guys the full combo. And I don't know what deck he was playing. So you're going to see in my opening hand game 2, I opened Nibiru. I sided very improperly because I was like, I don't know what he's on. I don't want to really take out my Magician engine because then I have to put in 6 hand traps and I don't know if any of them will be good. And so I just took out Tactics for Nib, and it was not the right call. I probably should have just put like any random hand traps in and hoped that they'd work. Because if this would have been the Droll or the Lancia, because I wouldn't have put in Token Collector. So I probably should have taken out the 5 Magician Souls cards, the Scythe, and the 3 Triple Tack, and put in 3 Nib, 3 Droll, 3 Lancia. And then right here, I would have had either a Droll or a Lancia in this slot. And that would have helped me a little bit against this. If it was Droll, it wouldn't because he has Shifter. But like if it was a Lancia, it would have been pretty nice. So he's got Shifter, Robina, Toucan, Eaglin, Street. I got Right, Foolish, Nib, Illusion, Perfume. And through this Shifter, my hand kind of does nothing. So he's going to lead with Robina. He's going to grab Barrier Statue, which is not good for me either. Going to summon Eaglin. Eaglin's going to grab Empin. Tribute summon 2. Empin effect, and then Robina chain 2. Adds the Robina. Searches the trap. Then normal summon Statue, sets trap pass. And what did I just draw? I drew Fusion Destiny, I think. And so I reveal Illusion, search Souls, put back the Nib because the Nib is dead here. And then I'm going to Foolish, send Yellow Mart, and add Serenade Dance. And then normal the Souls. But here he shifters me, and I think I literally just scoop. Like, this is unplayable. And so, yeah, game 3. Against some of these Fluanderies deck, I feel like there are games where if they open cracked, you literally just don't get to compete. But they also brick a decent amount. So I'm kind of fine going into a match with them. Especially when I won game 1. Knowing that we're on game 3, I feel pretty confident because I'm going first. I feel so dehydrated right now. This is my second water since starting recording. But he's got Map, Advent, Prosperity, Book, and Ash. I've got Yellow Mart and Lancia, Destiny, Serenade Dance, and Temple. And dude, the fact that he has Ash makes me not like, as a player playing against the deck, if you hit me with a hand trap that isn't Shifter, it gives me so much confidence because it means now I can't be shifted. You have a card engrave, and I feel like that might be a reason to not play regular hand traps in this deck just because it takes away the threat of shifter. But I'm going to go, I have Yellow Martin, Lancia, Fusion Destiny, Serenade, Temple. I don't remember if I said my hand or not, but that's what I got. I'm going to use Water Enchantress. He's going to Ash it. And so now I know that I can't get shifted, which is really nice. I don't really have a play. But real quick, you guys see how, if that did resolve though, how the Serenade Dance becomes a combo piece, like, and how these engines supplement each other. Because I would have got to get the Adventure, pitch the Serenade Dance, then I'd be able to pitch Martin for Dance, summon Chick, and then I don't know exactly the next step in that line. Probably Martin bounce the Chick, summon the Chick, overlay for Tiger King, get the tanky, get the thing, and now my whole engine's going. But here, this is why I don't think I would play the second Serenade Dance. Because if they do interrupt that engine, you're just like, oh crap, I can't play now. I luckily have the Fusion Destiny and Alancia, so I'm fine that I don't have combo. Because I also don't have to fear an Ash here. I don't have to fear the Shifter. And so I know my DP is going to stick, and I'm going to have the follow-up engrave. And so I'm going to summon this, and I'm also going to set Serenade Dance. The reason I set the Serenade is because if he gets my DPE in Grave, I feel like it's decent for him because he has Toucan, but here he won't actually have Toucan. So that's not like why you do it in this instance, because if he has Toucan, I'm just going to Lancia. He's not going to be able to banish anyways. Stree, not Toucan, my bad. But so I set the Dance because I know like my buddy Dave plays Dark Ruler, and I've been seeing a lot more people play Dark Ruler. If he were to Dark Ruler my DPE, I think that I would want to chain Dance, chain DPE, pop itself, and Dance. So that I have the Dance engrave to be an extender next turn. I have the DPE engrave because I know that he's not going to be able to auto a Stree. And so the only threat to it is that he would tribute it using the continuous spell. And I want to have DPE access, so if he's able to put an Empen out, I could summon DPE in defense, pop the Empen in the standby phase, and not be locked by it. And so that's my reasoning on setting this. We pass to him. He draws Eaglin. And I do not shotgun the Lancia. I think that there's a case to shotgun the Lancia. Like if I did it here, he would have to chain the Adventure, banish Eaglin, search Robina, and if he did that, he'd still have full combo. And so the reason I'm holding it is because if I let him Prosperity, right? If I shotgun and it turns off Prosperity for the turn, but he'll have the Prosperity on the next turn if I don't manage to kill him. And so I kind of want him to not know I have Lancia, play as if I don't have Lancia, and then commit to a play that I can chain Lancia to gain advantage. And so here he gets the Prosperity, and he accidentally reveals a card that he's banishing. Let's see everything he gets rid of. I wonder why he's got that in his deck. I feel like this guy, the way his extra deck built, he's playing Cherries. And I could technically get hit by Cherries because you can hit like DPE stuff. But aside from that, I doubt they're playing like the cards I play in my extra deck. And he's going to reveal. Come on. There we go. Looking at what he gets and now like seeing his hand, he takes Imperm. And I think that was wrong because he has the Book of Moon to force my DPE. And so why would you take Imperm? He uses the Imperm on my DPE when he grabs it. I feel like I would have grabbed Robina, probably. And so I feel like this was a bad take here. I don't know what his thought process was there, honestly. Because say this was a Robina instead. He books this. I'll chain this, pop itself, and Serenade. Then he would summon Robina, affect Eaglin. Eaglin, get the thing. I would have to Lancia at some point. Whenever I Lancia, he could chain the Advent, but he probably wouldn't even need to because he would still establish Empin with the trap searched. Or so maybe he would have chained Adventure to get another name. Probably Toucan? And that way he'd have the Robina in hand and search the trap. Yeah, he definitely could have set up Empin on board, Robina in hand, trap set, so that on my turn, he'd be able to, and this is through Lancia, on my turn, he'd be able to use the trap, set up the wind statue, and that probably wouldn't, or he could set up a, Apex Avion and then get a Book of Moon on my guys. So I feel like he just had more he could have done, but he didn't play properly, grabbing the Imperm. But maybe he's thinking, like, I want the book to dodge this, because he could be reading that this is an Imperm, which is another benefit of setting the dance, is it forces him to play as if I have it. And then he's also not playing around Lancia, because maybe he thinks I would have shotgunned the Lancia. And so here, so maybe it's not, like, here it looks like it's a misplay. I feel like he got punished for the way he played, but his reads may have been different than what I was leading on that I had, because I did bluff set a card. I did not use Lancia where people would like normally use it. So he's going to Imperm. I'm going to chain, popping my 2 cards. And now if he had the read that that was an Imperm or a Droplet, he's probably kicking himself because he's like, damn, I really could have just baited with the Book of Moon. I did not need that, especially since he has this to dodge. Yeah, I do not stand by the Imperm take. I think that was a bad one. He's going to activate the map, declare map effect, and this is where I'm going to drop the Lancia. And he's just going to pass. He has no way to play. He could have chained Advent, Banish, Eaglin, Search, Robina. Normal Robina, Search, Statue, Summon Statue, and that would have been a way better play, now that I'm looking at this. Yeah, because then my DPE couldn't come back. This wouldn't come back. I would have to draw a way to out the statue, and he'd have Book of Moon for that. Yeah, this dude should have beat me right here, but he just didn't. And the Eaglin would have been added back on the statue summon. So then if I commit a normal to try to break the statue, he'd get this, summon Eaglin. So I think my opponent could have beat me here. I think he played this bad, but he didn't beat me here because I get a turn now. I draw into Water Enchantress, DPE comes back. I didn't use Dasher. I don't know if I should have used Dasher or not, to be honest. But I think the reasoning I'm keeping it is because I want to be able to summon Yellow Martin, and I want to overlay with what I get off Dance to make Tiger King to search tanky. And so I wanted to keep Temple for the discard fodder. So I'm going to use Dance, pitch Enchantress, summon Chick. He's going to book the Chick, and then I'm going to use Water. I'm going to grab Right. I'm going to use Right, and I'm going to chain DPE to the right. And so then I'm going to pop Right, and I'm going to pop his field spell. But he chains the Advent, which lets him banish to grab Robina. Which, like, imagine if he just did that last turn and then normal to Robina. Like, I would have been in a much worse spot. But he kind of gave me this one. Not going to lie. Looking at it in hindsight. This is why he should, like, review these videos too. Because, like, he might not have felt that way. Maybe he was thinking, you know, I'm going to play around a card like Veiler. Maybe he still had the read that I had a Veiler or something. And I don't know. Like, maybe he didn't want to extend his resources into that. But now he's going to get punished very hard for not. And so I'm going to pop the field spell, pop the Right, grab my Adventure, normal summon, search Equip, pitch the Equip to search the Griffin, special the Griffin. And then here I'm going to use Celestial to draw 2. I get Perfume Foolish. So this is like game by far now. I'm going to link these 2 into Dagda. I'm going to activate the Perfume, chain Dagda, set Lancia. So even if I weren't able to like amount game, I would be able to put him under Lancia with the DPE. But since he surrenders here, you saw he drew a card off the top. He's going to surrender. The line I think I had to kill, right, was this is going to summon the Yellow Martin. That's not game yet. But I turn I use Perfume, Pitch Foolish, search a normal summon, I think. And then oh no, I already normaled. I feel like there's a line to kill here, but I'm not sure how it goes. Obviously, if I had the access code, I'm for sure I have a line, but without it, I'm not 100%. I'm gonna think about it for a second. Because, like, even if I couldn't kill him... Oh, also, he should be at 8,500. So maybe I didn't have a line to kill him, but we were definitely going to establish a board that he wasn't really going to be able to play through. Because, like, worst case, I'm also going to be able to put up an Appaloosa for 2 or 3. And if I couldn't put up the Appaloosa, I would be able to use, like, Token and Would I Reborn to make an IP. And then IP could turn itself and Dagda and Appaloosa on his turn. So I'd have Appaloosa for 2 with him under Lancia. And then when turn rolls back to me, I would just, like, kill him. And so that's the duel and the deck profile. Oh, let me actually show him scooping. There we go. Got to see the Zaid Slater wins. Oh, I lost connection. No! But that's the duel. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any, like, decks you want me to test, let me know in the comments. Let me know on Dueling Book if you see me on. And thank you for watching.